Right, looking for some ideas for your swimming lessons. I have lots of those, so you are in the right place. What is in my swim bag this week? Let me tell you some goodies. Right, I actually did a theme called It Is Once Upon a Time, and we are doing dragons and princesses, knights and all those good things. Now with this lesson, you can do what I did this time was did a story, and we set the scene right away from the start. I literally had all my gear out because we are making potions today, and I was wanting to set up the environment as I always do, ready to rock and roll for when the swimmers come poolside, so immediately they can see and get excited as to what the theme of that lesson is today. Now, I sometimes ask, what do you think it might be today? Just for them to get engaged right away, to think maybe of what it could potentially be based on what I've put out there. And it's really interesting, some of their answers that they come up with. Anyhow, there are songs in this bundle. There are printables for these play mats. And there's a good amount of song sheets in here. The swim squad members get all this. And it was last month or this month's themed bundle that they get every month. They have at least 2 themes every month that are new, and they have everything that they need to print off ready for the lesson. Now this particular one could be spread over at least 2 or 3 lessons, but this time I actually I was wanting to do the potion ingredients list, and there is another activity in here that's is similar, but it can be another lesson which I'm going to do next week. So the first thing, when the swimmers come poolside, like I said, have everything set up, and I actually read a start to the story, a short story of the potion to save the kingdom. And basically it's a lesson adventure, as the name suggests, of mini water adventurers. Every lesson I try to bring a new and a wonderful and creative adventure for them to bring their swimming lessons alive, so that they can then learn so much more effectively, and the kids absolutely love it. They progress so quickly, and they just love their time being in the lesson. So it explains everything for what you need to do. And the first thing it says here is gather the little swimmers in a circle, perhaps on the pool steps or a floating mat, if possible, and use a wand or a crown to set the scene. Now I did have a wand. I'm hoping it's in here, but it's in my bag here. I'm going to show you. Then you start off and you set the scene. So they are maybe sat on the float or by the stairs, and they could be kicking their legs, listening, or they could be holding on to their wands or their crowns, just so. And then you're going to read this individual part. So it starts with, once upon a splashy time in the kingdom of Waveshire, there lived brave little knights. That's you. And it goes on, explains what's happened and then what we are going to be doing, which then creates the whole of the lesson. And the potion list here, you can do it a different couple of ways. You can either work your way from the top to bottom, or you can have a bag of where there are numbers in there and they pick them out, and this is the ingredients that they will be that they would then be choosing. So if they pick a 5, then they know that they need to go and get the Knight's Shield Shimmer. Right, so what do I have in here with regards to the potions? I have extra little things out there of sprinkles, of water sprinkles, and these little clouds are amazing because they fill them up and then they can start. So I highly recommend some of these. I have a number of these that I have. And they're very popular. So what I had out and about, and again I have some extra things like this of where it helps with their breathing, but it helps with them to focus on something. It's brilliant for children that are needing to be redirected in a positive way. And what I have out and about are these little bowls, which then have some of the potions didn't need any materials. It just needed their imagination. Whereas some have props or materials. So I had all these out, and I have certain colours because then it's a focal point for them to go from here to the green bucket bowl, or to the orange bowl, and so forth. And then they've got little things that are loose part play, classed as loose part play, and I put them in here, and then they are out and about. So I've got those in there. Then I had extra things as well, like sparkly pom-poms, and then just clear pom-poms that didn't have any sparkles. Also, what I've got in here are some gems. So I had some gems here that's part of what some of the potions were. And then I also had, so these are like gems, but then I also had these types of gems as well, if you can see that. And these I've used in so many different themes, so you can keep getting them out and reusing them. I'm always a great believer in using and reusing the materials that you spend your money on, and thinking about how you can use them in different ways, not just necessarily that one way that you have for that particular lesson. So I'm just putting these all out so that I can show you. So I have 4, actually I didn't have these in here. I have these and these are suckums. Well, I call them suckums, and some pools they stick really well to, and some pool sides they don't. So if you find that they aren't really sticking, it's fine, because they just sit really quite nicely poolside anyway. But what they do stick really well to are kickboards. Here I have the Ulti Float. And this is a brilliant kickboard. It was the Knight's Shield, and they stick on here perfectly for when you are going along in the lesson, and the children can balance them on there as they are going with their shields. To do with the goblins and trolls. So again, you can make up stories, but these types of things are amazing, especially for the little ones, because they are sensorial. They have different grooves and textures, colours, and they are brilliant. So I had those out. Now the buckets that I have were their potion collectors. So they could either go and collect with their buckets, or I used a net as well. So some of them, again, giving the child the choice if they wanted a bucket for their cauldron, or whether or not they're wanting to collect everything first in their nets, they could do that. Now, the beauty about both of these is that if the water hits it and they fall out, then they've got to work out how to keep it inside with regards to the level of where they put it and place it, which is another learning opportunity for them because of that control of effect. Right, I'm just going to I've got loads of different gems here that I had set out. And what I also did have in here are my bubbles. This in itself is really cool. They did it in the water, they do it on themselves. It makes funny noises when you blow into it, but then you can actually do your bubbles as well. And what children don't love bubbles? Great for breath control, but one of the potions were dragon bubble breaths. So if they were unsure about blowing their bubbles in the water, then at least we could work with this, and we all enjoyed with having the bubbles. What else did I have in here? Well, they also were wanting to decorate their crowns, because when the curse was lifted, the whole magical kingdom came alive, and that they're able to then wear their crowns high and proud. And so we actually wanted to decorate them. So again, out and about, I had these little containers. These are amazing jewelry boxes, but they're plastic. So the element of surprise of what's inside, and you can choose loads of different things that fit inside. But part of what we were decorating the crowns were some sparklies, because again, It could have been used for part of the ingredients list with the Fairy Fizz crystals. And also what I had in here, this is a soap dish. And there are loads of little characters in here that the children absolutely loved. If the part of the story was about a wicked witch that had put a curse, and they could choose maybe one of these, that there was the wicked witch, or they could have used these to decorate their crowns, or they were using these little guys just as little characters of where they were just adding to the theme of the lesson. Other things that I had in here, just because of the little ones, again adding to the sort of layering of to sort of these sensory, I had these out and about, and again it just depends on your surface area whether it sticks or not. Now these do fall over because obviously they stick up, but they do stick really well on kickboards. So it could be that you have maybe, if you use arm discs, hopefully not for lessons, but you could use these to stand these up on. Or they can stick maybe on side of things that you've already potentially got out. So for instance, they could stick out on buckets. When they're wet, they stick. And you could have these out and about stuck on the side. These actually did work really well on the side. They work perfectly with the certain colours that you have here. So that was in my lesson for this week. What did you have, and what were in your swimming lessons this week? What theme did you have? How did it go? Are you enjoying all your themed lessons? Now, if you are interested in getting all of this with the whole list of activities that are on here, tells you exactly what to do. And there's also activities on there that don't require too many materials. And if you're just starting off and you're wanting to add themes to your lessons, then this is a perfect place to come, because it gives you those ideas, but it also gives you ideas, especially on here as well in the Swim Squad membership, of what you can do when you are limited to resources. So I hope you join me over at the membership. If not, please come and see me at Swim Education on Facebook page. And don't forget to subscribe and like these videos so that other swimming teachers are able to see them too. And please comment below. What are you doing this week in your lessons, and what do you have planned over the summer? Well, enjoy your lessons, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.